How to prepare walls and ceilings for painting. It's vital that all surfaces are properly prepared before painting to ensure that the finish is long-lasting and looks professional. In this video, we're going to take you through exactly what you need to do before painting a room. You'll find a full list of tools and materials you'll need at the end of this video. You'll need to ensure that surfaces are completely free of grease and dust. In addition to this, if there are any cracks or holes, these will need to be filled. Flaky plaster, peeling paint, or wallpaper will also need to be removed before you can start painting. It's best to remove all furniture from the room if possible, or move it to the center of the room if you can't remove it completely. Protect floors and furniture with suitable protective sheets. How to prepare plastered walls. If the surface you're planning to paint is freshly plastered, ensure that it's completely dry before you begin preparing the surface. You can tell it's dry when there are no remaining dark patches. Fresh plaster needs priming before you can paint on it. This enables paint to cover the wall properly. If you fail to prime a plaster wall, it will soak up the paint and you'll have to do several extra coats. You also won't end up with that long-lasting professional finish. You can buy specialist paint for new plaster. Check manufacturer's instructions for the amount of coats, or else you can do 2 coats of mist coat, which is watered down emulsion, 60% paint to 40% water. You can use white emulsion or another light colour. After the mist coats, you will need 2 top coats. How to prepare painted walls. If the walls that you're preparing have been painted before, it's slightly easier. Firstly, you'll need to ensure that any holes, gaps or cracks are filled. For hairline cracks, you can use Wickes base coat, which will fill in these kind of blemishes. To fill any larger cracks or holes, you'll need to start by washing the area with sugar soap to ensure that the area is free from grease and dust, and that any loose bits of plaster around the edges of the hole are removed. This will ensure the filler will be able to bind properly. We're using Wickes quick drying filler, which is perfect for small internal repairs. Apply some filler to your scraper, then work it into the hole or crack to make sure it fills the hole completely. Scrape off any excess as you go. Allow the filler to dry completely. The packaging should guide you on how long this is likely to take. Sand down the surface with fine-grade sandpaper. Be sure to wear a dust mask and ventilate the room well when you're sanding. Once you've filled all the holes and sanded the filler, sand any areas where the paint is flaking. Next, brush all surfaces clean of dust and residue from the sanding process. It's a good idea to vacuum the area so you don't kick up dust onto wet paint. Don't forget the top edge of the skirting board, as this is a dust trap. How to remove wallpaper. Although you can paint over wallpaper, the best finish is obtained by stripping the paper back, either manually or with chemicals to the plaster before repainting. Score, soak and strip. To remove small areas of wallpaper, start by lightly scoring the paper, being careful not to damage the underlying plaster. Next, soak the paper using a sponge and hot water. Leave it to soak for 5 minutes. Then start working your stripping knife into the scores and scrape the paper off the plaster wall behind. Chemical stripper. If the wallpaper is not peeling off easily, you can use a chemical wallpaper remover. Check manufacturer's instructions for mixing. Wear goggles, a dust mask, gloves, and protective clothing when applying. Allow time for the chemical to soak in, following the manufacturer's instructions. Then, strip the wallpaper. Steam stripper. If you are working on a large area, you could try using a steam stripper. Fill the tank with water, switch it on, and hold the plate against the area of the wallpaper that you're trying to strip. Once the steam has penetrated the paper, which usually only takes about 15 seconds, though the packaging will give you instructions specific to your device, simply strip the paper using a stripping knife and the paper should come off easily. Don't leave it on one area for too long, as it can damage the underlying plaster. If any areas are still not stripping easily, re-steam and try again. Bear in mind that this device uses scalding hot steam, so wear appropriate clothing and take sensible precautions to prevent yourself getting scalded. If you're stripping an area higher up the wall, Apply the steam from upper stepladder to avoid hot water running down your arm. Also be sure to take extra care around woodwork, switches, sockets and fittings. Don't let the steamer run low or let it run out of water, as this can damage the machine. With the paper removed, clean the area using sugar soap. If you need to prepare the interior woodwork, it's worth doing this before washing the walls so you can wash everything together. See our video, How to Prepare Interior Woodwork, for details. Now you're ready to paint. Here is a list of the tools you'll need to prepare your walls and ceilings for painting. Here are the materials you will need. And this is the safety equipment.